Can a certain food actually help me get pregnant? Well, we're going to talk about it. I'm Lauren, a women's health and prenatal dietitian dedicated to helping women support their total body health and fertility through the power of nutrition. Today, we are unpacking a topic that's really close to my heart, and that is the role of nutrition in fertility and what every woman needs to know about how her diet impacts her chances of conception. Whether you are simply preparing your body for the future or actively trying to conceive or going through treatments after a long road of trying, your nutrition can either be your greatest ally or your toughest challenge. And trust me, I have seen firsthand how deliberate changes to what we eat can make all the difference. So grab a mineral mocktail, I've got mine, grab a notebook, or just settle in for some fertility changing insights. Let's get started. All right, let's break it down. Did you know that your diet doesn't just help you feel good today, but it also plays a huge role in the health of your hormones? Now, this is because nutrition directly impacts your reproductive system. The quality of your eggs, your menstrual cycle regularity, even ovulation itself, they all depend on the nutrients that your body has to work with based on what you give it. I think we all know that what we eat can impact our heart health or our chance of developing diabetes and other cardiovascular type diseases, other diseases in the body, but it also plays a huge role in our reproductive health. Think of it this way: your body won't prioritize conception if it feels like it's missing something essential. So for instance, if you are low on critical nutrients like folate, iron, or omega-3s, or even total calories, your body might hesitate to create new life because it's too busy trying to take care of your existing needs. In the hierarchy of importance in our body, your body will prioritize keeping your kidneys functioning, your heart beating, your lungs breathing, before it prioritizes your menstrual cycle and your reproductive health. I once worked with my client Nicole, who struggled with pretty severe PMS type symptoms and had irregular cycles. She was wanting to lose a little bit of weight to prepare her body for pregnancy. And when we dove into her diet, we realized that yes, she was eating in an energy surplus. However, she was not getting enough of the right nutrients or the right balance of nutrients to support an optimal reproductive system. And together we revamped her meals to include more balance overall. And within 3 months, her cycles became more regular. She felt a huge improvement in her energy and just started feeling better overall, and was able to finally lose a little weight because we were finally having that balance in her body. And little did she know that balancing her body like that would make it so much easier when the time came to actually start trying to conceive. So you're probably curious by now, okay, what nutrients actually matter when we're talking about fertility? While all vitamins and minerals are important, there are a few MVPs that we're going to go over today. Specifically, to start off, your macro minerals. This includes calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. And these minerals often go talked about and do not get the attention that I personally feel that they deserve. When I test my clients' minerals, so often are there major imbalances in these 4 macro minerals, and they're having a big impact on optimal hormone signaling. So I have my mineral mocktail right here. I don't go a day without it because the foundation that our minerals creates in our body truly play a huge and critical role in your reproductive health. And while mineral mocktails are great food sources like avocados, dark leafy greens, bananas, potatoes, even dark chocolate with a little sea salt are some great additions with those macro minerals. And another thing that we often don't talk about is how we get so depleted of those minerals just with everyday stressors of life, womanhood, low quality Western diet, whatever it is, you name it. We are constantly losing minerals in our bodies, so we need to be replenishing them. So another nutrient that should be a priority when you're trying to get pregnant is folate. This is not just for when you are pregnant, though it does get a lot of attention for pregnant women. Folate is essential before conception too, because it helps prepare your cells for healthy DNA replication and it supports your egg quality. So think spinach, lentils, oranges are other great sources of folate. Another nutrient to prioritize is omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats reduce inflammation and improve blood flow to your reproductive organs. I had a client who started adding salmon to her weekly routine, and it gave her more than just glowing skin, because omega-3s do that as well. It improved her mood and her cycle. And this was something that I personally focused on a lot before trying to conceive with my first baby. I was not much of a fish eater before something changed when I turned 26 and I started to actually enjoy salmon. And so I had it at least once, if not twice a week. And I saw vast improvements in my PMS symptoms and overall cycle regularity. Antioxidants are other nutrients that you want to focus on as well. Your eggs are particularly vulnerable to oxidative stress, especially as we get older, if we are approaching our upper 30s, 40s, etc. Antioxidants can be found in colorful fruit and vegetables and even dark chocolate. So they help protect against oxidative stress and damage to our eggs and really our total body. A tip that I often share with a lot of my clients is try and eat the rainbow and to get as much color in your diet as possible, because there are different antioxidants in red foods like peppers and tomatoes than there are in purple foods like purple sweet potatoes, blueberries, blackberries, even in white foods like cauliflower. There are different antioxidants all across the rainbow, so try to get a variety. And then a last couple of nutrients for you to prioritize would be iron and zinc. Iron helps to build up your uterine lining, and zinc is a major role player in hormone health. And if you are a menstruating woman, which hopefully you do have a cycle if you are trying to get pregnant, even if that cycle is unregular or you're having some breakthrough bleeding, there's a chance that you might need some additional iron. I always recommend getting tested before you are trying to conceive to see what your iron levels are like. But most prevalent iron sources can come from meats and animal products, but also beans, seeds, shellfish, and eggs give you iron as well. If you're like many of the clients that I work with, you might be feeling overwhelmed by trying to track so many nutrients, and I don't want you to feel that way. That is why I just recommend starting small. Maybe it's adding a handful of berries to your breakfast this week, or swapping out a processed snack for some nuts to get some minerals and vitamins in. The goal is progress, not perfection. Now, nutrition is really only one piece of the puzzle. It works hand in hand with other lifestyle habits like your sleep or your stress management and physical activity. For example, did you know that your stress hormones like cortisol can disrupt your ovulation? In my 3-day Fuel Your Fertility challenge, there is actually a full day designated to stress support and regulating your nervous system to support fertility, and I'll include details for that below. I've heard so many stories from women who were trying to get pregnant, trying forever, or going through fertility treatments, or were about to start fertility treatments, and they decided to take a break from trying before they started back up again. Maybe they were taking the summer off. And what happens when they take that break? They often get pregnant naturally. And there's a good chance that that is actually related to your stress response in your body. And when you finally can calm down a little bit and lower those stress hormones, your body can start to feel a little bit safer and put more energy toward reproduction. I hear stories like that all the time, and I absolutely love to hear it, but it also just goes to show how much of a role stress can play when it comes to wreaking havoc on our hormones and conception rate. Hang on, mineral break. Let's talk about a few misconceptions that I think a lot of times we hear about or you might personally have. You do not have to have or follow a perfect diet in order to conceive. It's all about balancing your habits and your nutrition over time. Here's the thing. Every single woman that I have worked with has very, very different preferences and needs and a very different background. I like to take a really individualized approach when I'm building out their plan, because I know if I start giving you this really strict diet or something that you don't even like to eat, odds are you're really not going to eat it and it's not going to give you any value. So trying to build a plan that fits for each individual and what works for you is going to look different from person to person. There's no one perfect diet that you have to follow in order to conceive, but having a wide variety of nutrients in the right proportions is going to be key. Another misconception that I often hear is that carbs are the enemy, or my doctor told me to cut out carbs or cut back carbs. They are not the enemy. Complex carbs that are also rich in fiber, so quinoa, oats, beans, even potatoes are excellent for balancing hormones and your blood sugar when they are paired with correct foods and in the right portions. When it comes down to the carbohydrates that you're eating, you should be eating them, but it all comes down to how often, how much, and what you are pairing them with. Having carbs in your diet can help you get pregnant. We just want to make sure that it's the right amount. And then one more other thing that I have heard recently from a lot of people is that their doctor or someone recommended that they go on a very specific diet in order to get pregnant, or being really restrictive or cutting out certain foods. Skipping meals or going on a crash diet can actually throw your menstrual cycle way off balance, making it harder to conceive. I recently talked to a mom and she told me that her doctor told her to go on a citrus fruit diet and really focus on getting citrus in her diet. And if that sounds crazy, that's because it kind of is. Restriction is not going to be helpful for your fertility. If you're only focusing on this one food group or this one food like citrus fruit, that's not going to help you get pregnant. Having healthy hormones is going to support healthy aging and a healthy life overall. So you need to be following a way of eating that's going to support your total body health so that it can prioritize your reproduction. A super restrictive diet is not going to do that, but finding a plan that fits into your life and makes it more fertility friendly that you can actually maintain is key. I had this client, Jessica, who thought that she had to be really restrictive with her eating in order to be healthy, and she often ended up skipping meals. And instead, she ended up really low energy, and her menstrual cycle was pretty irregular, and it never got better until we went through what she liked to eat, how her normal diet currently looked, and we started making it more fertility friendly and adding in more consistent nourishment with nutrient-rich meals. And after a few months, not only was her cycle back to normal, but she was able to naturally conceive after a history of going through IUI. Your fertility and your nutrition are deeply intertwined, but the good news is that small changes can spark really big transformations. Nutrition is not about perfection, it's about building habits that nourish your body and support your goals. If this video resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What's something that you've been inspired to change or prioritize in your diet today? Also, feel free to share any questions or specific topics that you want to learn more about in the realms of fertility and nutrition and stress and lifestyle, so I can do that in future videos. And lastly, if you are looking for more guidance on your fertility journey, check out the 3-day Fuel Your Fertility Challenge, where you can learn exactly what you need to prioritize to help prepare your body for conception. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on how you can nourish your body and your future. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.